You said you like Boy George.
No.
Come on, chameleon.
You come and go.
There you go. There's
You come and go.
That's it. Done.
Finally, we got it out. But you didn't sing. Carlito.
What's going on, Manny?
We are back in the new year.
2020, baby.
Exactly. This is our first guest of the new year.
Yeah.
You feel really special.
Really?
Yeah. You want to? Do you want to do the introduction there?
This is my boy, Ivan, and he's from Veracity Group. I've known him for, 15 years probably almost now, eh?
Yeah, around there.
I'm amazed about how many guys you bring in here that you've known for like a decade plus.
Yeah, but we're talking about talent here.
Yeah. What are we talking about here?
I'm hoping that Yvonne will talk about what he does best. He does many things very well, but one of the things that he's done the longest, and I won't speak for you, but I will right now, brick and block.
Masonry, yeah.
That's right.
Started off in masonry back when I was 15, long time ago.
15.
15, I used to do it on the summers.
How old are you now?
38,
Wow.
long time ago.
That's a lot of brick.
Time flies.
It's a lot of block.
It's a lot of block, eh?
How much has the business changed since then?
Night and day. Night and day.
Dramatically?
Oh, yeah. All the old dudes are gone. New generations in.
They don't wanna work?
Different stuff. No, some of them, it's not about that. Just different styles, different atmosphere on sites. Things change.
Tell us
throughout
about
time.
that. What do you mean, like different styles? Like the young guys are what? They're quicker. They don't.
No, definitely not. Well, I'll give you an example. Back in the days when I started masonry, it was my crew was all older guys, Italian guys, 50
Old school.
plus. So
Wow.
they used to use the level to check the brick, just to check. Nowadays, you see guys lay 3-4 brick, level goes on, bang, bang, bang. 3-4 brick, level goes on. They kind of, it was an art back then
Yeah.
with those older guys. Right?
Yeah.
Nowadays, I think it's just times have changed.
You know what? You actually make a valid point because I remember seeing that. It's like the level was handed almost as much as the trowel was handled.
Well, it's like a telephone. Like before, I knew telephone numbers, and I got used to that. Now I can't remember one phone number.
Very similar. Very
Yeah.
similar.
So it's become a crutch now for the new guys.
Yeah, the new guys, it's more of just a job. The old guys, they were passionate about it. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of young guys that are second, third generation I've worked with that have a lot of passion. They're talented guys. Majority,
No?
big change.
I guess the old guys' eyes were better than you guys. Like now we're using lasers. These guys just saw it. Like they saw visually.
I wouldn't
what was
say
wrong.
that. I think the older guys already knew how much mortar to lay there, how much mortar to
Exactly.
scrape.
Exactly.
They got into that rhythm, almost like you look at them and they would almost be such an automated machine, but they're physically a person doing it. I think the young guys now are not that rhythmic. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They don't lay the exact amount on the mix. So the idea is that once you actually set your first bed and you put the bricks in, they all fall right in place.
Yeah.
And it's designed perfectly. But the younger guys, I guess today, they don't do it evenly. Then they put the bricks and then they got to go like, it's not straight. Why is it not straight? And then they got to tap.
Small techniques that the older guys had that I guess didn't carry forward.
You can't teach that stuff.
I always say if you want to find a good bricklayer, go stand beside him working and look at how much mortar is on his feet. So the
Wow.
old guys, you'd barely see anything on the ground.
It's a good point. It's a very
Right?
good point.
The mortar's supposed to go on the wall. When you lay a brick, you're not supposed to tap it. Really, you're not supposed to tap it.
You're not.
Set it.
You feel
set
it. We feel it with your palm. It goes up against an existing brick that you just laid. That one you know already is already level. So you use that, and your eye, feel, touch, similar to taping, right?
So when tapping it, what does it do to it?
Pound it down because there's too much mortar.
I see guys doing it all the time. So you're saying
You're not-
they know they have
It's-
too much on there.
That's a sign of inexperience, right? Kind of.
Kind of.
Depends on how many taps.
Yeah.
You're not
Like,
tiptoeing around this, are you?
Because you're upsetting certain individuals, or what's going on here?
It's, times change, right? I started really young. I started right out of high school, right into masonry, right? I was probably the youngest kid on the subdivision. We did, with the original company, we did thousands of homes. I was with them for a while. And like I said, the youngest guy on the crew was probably 52.
Wow,
The
that's
youngest
crazy.
guy on
The
the crew.
youngest guy on the crew. They're older generation guys. The sad thing is, none of them brought their kids into the industry.
All of them made their money. They did really well.
Yeah.
They didn't do what we were all doing today. And then they all wanted a better life for the youngers.
Exactly.
And that's the problem. So then
Yeah, I don't blame them, but at the same time, kind
you
of takes
kind
away.
of fault them a little bit.
It takes away from the work, right?
Yeah.
From the actual industry.
It's just the work ethic is what it is,
Exactly.
right? So that's what's missing from a lot of guys in construction is that work ethic is gone. And that was instilled by an older generation tradesperson that would smack you on the head.
Exactly.
And that's how you learned.
Yeah.
But we don't get that now. If a guy was to smack a guy on the head on the job site, what would happen?
Oh, you get sued probably.
Yeah, I like a couple of years ago. You remember a friend of mine owns a pretty big masonry company. Asked me to come and help a little bit. We were running about 10 crews up in Innisfil. I've been out of it for a while since before we were on the show. Right? What was that? 2009,
Well,
8,
that's when you kind of
Started?
got on there, yeah.
right? So that was a while. So I was out probably for 7, 8 years. Then I get back into it, and you have that mentality, and people come up to me, hey, take it easy. It's break time. Because back in my days, break time was you get a coffee, the guys would chug the thing back to work. Now they want to sit
I
down,
know.
they want to
Smoke and everything.
have a cigarette.
They want to talk.
Yeah.
You were out of it for 7 years. What was the reason you were out of it for 7 years?
Well, at the same time, we had a lot of downtime when I was doing masonry, so I got into renovations.
Okay.
I've always loved all types of construction, so I got into renovations, started doing some renovations part-time on the weekends, on the evenings, and then eventually I said, you know what, I think that's enough with masonry. Let's move on to renovations, construction.
So like
building.
bathrooms and kitchens and
Bathrooms, kitchens,
Basements,
basements,
yeah.
decks. Did a lot of front verandas because of the masonry repairs, flagstone, a lot of stuff, a lot of chimneys, a lot of chimney
because all the
repairs.
chimneys are falling apart.
Yeah, I would just drive around, drop my card, do a chimney a weekend.
And that would
not
pay
bad.
for your week pretty much.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Because in masonry, you have a lot of downtime. If it rains, you're off. If it's too cold, you're off. If it's too hot, you're off.
Wow.
So-
What are you off doing what?
You- Puñeta. Pretty much, right? I was young. I wanted to stay busy. And then I had an opportunity to pretty much get into construction. And that was that.
Why did you jump into construction at such a young age, like at 15 years old? What was the...
I've always since...
Dad? Uncle?
No.
Who else is in the
Nobody.
family that's actually in construction?
Nobody.
You're the only one.
I loved it since I was a kid. Kids would watch cartoons. I would want to watch like building shows. I loved it since day.
Bob Vila?
I would take stuff apart. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
was
would
one of my
always,
favorites.
Take stuff apart, put it back together. I always loved.
But so nobody actually gave you that spark?
No,
You just discovered it
I
on your
just
own.
Love the creativity of it.
That's a rarity, right?
Yeah.
That's not common, right? And then you picked up the... So who taught you laying bricks?
Nobody actually taught me. My eyes taught me. So I started as a labor. From labor, just handing them materials. There's stages. You move on to machine operator, then you move on to building scaffold, and then you're on, off. So I kind of conquered the labor. I was a superstar at labor, not to toot my own horn, but like, for example, a couple of years ago, going back to what I was saying about going back to the site, helping out that company, I always used to tell the laborers, like, back in my days, you know, I used to have 3 bricklayers on the side of the house, 3 bricklayers on the back of the house. I would serve all 6 guys and still have time to stand there and smoke cigarettes. So,
Wow.
You'd be able to get mortar to them, all 6
mortar,
guys,
so I
back
used to
inside?
get them. I used to serve them mortar, brick, wall ties, paper, plastic, cut all the steel lintels, prepare the next level because they go up in stages. Usually, average home is about 3 lifts of scaffold. So I would get there half an hour before them, try to prepare all 3 lifts, and then just spend the day just feeding them material.
Wow, dude.
Did you make videos of this to teach the next
No,
generation?
it was
then?
a long time ago, man. Long time ago.
Because that ain't the case now, man.
Eventually, I said, you know what? Enough with laboring. I want to learn how to lay bricks. So one of the older guys said, you want to learn? Here's a trowel. Start laying mortar for me.
That was it. That
You're
was
not doing
lesson
nothing.
number one.
You're not doing nothing. All you're doing is spreading mortar. When I'm laying bricks, he gave me a round joiner. He goes, you go do my joint. So started there and slowly and slowly and slowly. And then that company, I was such a good laborer, they said, you know what? We can't lose this guy operating machines. So they wouldn't let me lay bricks.
Wow.
So I said, forget you guys. Jumped into another company. The other company said, okay, start off, you're still fresh. Start off operating machines, this and that. Then I'd have free time, jump on the wall, lay brick. Bricklayer's like, holy shit, this guy's pretty quick. And eventually I said to the owner, I want to lay bricks. Enough with the labor thing. He said, okay, we'll talk. I said, no. I lay bricks or see you later. He says, bring your tools tomorrow. And that was that.
Wow.
No more labor.
Because they know that a bricklayer is only as good as a laborer, man.
Exactly.
So if you find a good laborer, unfortunately, they don't want to fucking promote you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the bullshit part of the business. It sucks, right? But
Some guys didn't want the responsibility of laying bricks. They wanted to stay labor.
Really?
Right? Yeah, a lot of guys just wanted to operate machines.
But I get the sense like you're kind of like me where you learned everything. You perfected setting up the scaffold, getting everything all ready, preparing the job. You learned it all.
That's how I am. I
Yeah.
like to, next.
Conquer, challenge, next,
Exactly.
conquer, challenge.
Exactly. I
That's
can't
it.
stay put.
Yeah, I gotcha.
can't.
I know. And that's important, right?
yeah.
That's important in construction, Carlito.
Yeah.
You know that, right?
Dude,
Yeah,
it's important
very
across
important.
the board. for
Very
sure.
important.
That's what separates you from being a laborer or running your own company.
So what kind of trowel boy are you?
Now, Marshalltown.
Oh, you go
I
Marshalltown,
think
eh?
I have probably 3-4 trowels. I
Okay.
got a couple in the back of my truck. Marshalltown, Rose. Yeah.
Whatever works for the job.
Whatever works. Whatever, the bigger the better.
Yeah, but you're not really so much on the tools. You get on the tools to teach a lesson to the guys that are working
When?
for you now.
When? Now?
Yeah.
Right now, perfect description of what I am is a project manager. That's what I am. I own a construction company and I manage projects. So I plan, execute. A couple of guys on my team, they're a part of me. So each one has certain tasks, each one has certain aspects of the project that they manage. We all work together and go from there.
You were telling me a couple weeks ago you were working at one of the universities.
Yeah.
And
the last job I did for Ryerson University, we did a bunch of structural work up on Spadina, Dundas, Spadina. So we did a underpinning. We did
Is that Dundas or Dundas?
Dundas?
Dundas. Just want to make sure. That's all.
Du Punta. Lansdowne Du Punta.
Du Punta, eh? All you Toronto people will get that one.
It was a pretty cool job. I like projects like that where they're challenging. You're
Yeah.
working with existing. You have a lot of structural's challenging. I love structural work, so it was pretty cool. It was a 2-tier underpin, so you'd have
two-tier
Two
underpin.
pour. So you got a two-stage pour.
So you'd do one section, you'd do one level of underpins, and then you'd excavate your pins to do another section
wow.
of pins. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
And why
So
is
it's
that?
Just because the soil capacity, the load that's on that section, that's the way the engineer spec'd it.
How low were you guys going?
We went down, I think, around 12 feet, something like
12
that. Yeah,
feet?
12 feet from top of slab.
But that wasn't a block. That was a pour.
That was poor.
Yeah.
I don't think you can underpin block.
Well, so what I
No,
was
you can underpin.
what I
Can
was
you?
leading
Yeah.
to is he went right to the good stuff, but there was times that whenever I have time off, I'll call Yvonne up and I'll say, "What's up, bro? Where you at?" And blah blah blah. He's telling me, "Man, I got these guys working over in here, and I got to get on the tools to show them, how it's done." And he tells me stories about, guys are only laying how many bricks are guys laying now?
Nowadays,
What's
around
typical?
600.
And what are you used to doing?
I used to do around 1,200
Wow.
A day.
a day. Yeah,
So why are they doing half as much?
they don't have to. They're not.
Driven.
Nobody expects more of them.
That's the magic number.
That's
That's what's on the resume.
Yeah, you can't push them these days because masons are rare nowadays. To try to find a good mason, a good labor, good luck.
Oh.
Good luck.
So if they're good enough that they can pull off
Exactly.
600,
Exactly.
then they don't want to do any more because then you're expecting to do.
They don't have to anymore. They don't have to.
What are the signs of a bad brick or block layer? Like if you're a homeowner or another GC and you're watching a couple guys, what is the first things that you see that tell you right away these guys are not good? Or they could do
Cleanliness.
really?
Yeah.
How clean they are when they
How
lay.
clean the site is, how properly the scaffold's built, how clean their wall is, how clean. So, if, for example, if
Their brick.
somebody's laying stone or brick on a veranda, and you walk on your veranda and you see mortar all over the concrete, fresh poured concrete, that's a sign, right?
Yeah.
Put a sheet of plywood, put
Something.
some paper, put sand. We didn't have stuff back in the days. We used to just get some sand.
That's a good idea.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Throw some sand, it
Come right
protects
off.
it.
Yeah.
Small stuff like that. Joints not being properly done, a lot of holes. So before they joint, you'll see a lot of holes because the guys are just going quick.
Fast.
And what are the holes from? Next to the speed? Is it not troweling it out?
No, the holes are from not spreading the mortar evenly on your bed joint and not putting enough mortar your brick joint. When
Wow.
one brick meets another brick, a lot of guys will just kind of whatever's left on the trowel, even if it's not enough, they'll just slap the end of the brick, lay the other brick. But meanwhile, it's hollow inside, right? So once they finish, it's time to join. If they do whatever 6-8 courses, depending on the weather. If it's hot, you joint more. If it's cold, you gotta wait until it sets up a bit. Otherwise, you'll make a mess. So when you look at a wall, the guy's been laying it without joining it. If you see a bunch of holes, not good.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
because you don't want to go by with another trowel and
Yeah,
start.
some guys even back in the days I used to hate doing joints with them because I'd have to sit there and with a full, trowel just filling in
point.
joints. Like, guys, what the?
Oh, we
what
tuck
the
one
hell
here,
are
we
you
lay
doing,
bricks.
man?
What's going on here, man?
Put somebody, you're not paying for the mortar. Fill it up. All right? Yeah, it's all technique. A lot of guys just butter one end. Some guys butter the face and the back. There's tons of technique.
What is the right thing to do?
Front and back of brick. The way I do it. So I go like this, like that. I know you can't see, but...
No, but it makes sense. No, I could see totally.
By the way,
right?
where are the cameras?
Right there.
I thought there was going to be like a big...
What, a whole makeup trailer?
Yeah,
And
I thought there was going to be cameras.
like wardrobe
If
and
I knew there
everything?
was no cameras, I would have never came.
This is not a TV show, where they pretend to do work. This is legitimate, man.
So tell us when you're looking at people's work, what are the things that you see that are wrong? Like I want to hear all the wrong things.
Why are you so negative?
Yeah,
Craig?
It's not negative.
let's talk-
Why are you such a negative
You know
person?
what? I'm not very good with brick or block.
I love brick
This
or
is my
block.
chance to actually learn something.
I could be anywhere in
Small.
the world and I see beautiful brickwork and blockwork and stonework.
but
I stop and I stare.
I'm a typical person. This is my weak point. I'm not very good with brick or block. I see brick or block and I'm like, oh, that's a nice brick. There's a nice tuck point, but I don't know enough about it. This is my opportunity. I have Yvonne with me, but I never pick his
Similar
brain.
to tile, like you're a master tile setter. I think so.
Thanks.
Right? When you look at tile, what do you look for? You look for lippage. If your joints line up, your horizontal joints line up, if they're keeping the actual bond straight.
Holes
It's very
and
similar.
grout.
Holes and
Same
grout.
thing.
Very similar.
Yeah.
Very
Wow.
similar, man. And
Good to know.
Stone, there's a couple of things, small examples. If you're running a joint too long, like past 3-4 feet, which you shouldn't do, you should break it up. There's usually 3-4 sizes of stone, so you should break it up. When you look at a wall, your eye shouldn't stop in one section; it should just flow. Small things like that.
I didn't know that.
But these are little things that
Little things.
the homeowners and clients
Yeah.
may not necessarily pick up on. A skilled tradesperson will, an architect will.
They'll pick up on it once they install those pot lights everybody loves to
Then they'll see
put
it.
outside.
Then they'll
they
see
see
it.
the raccoon climbing up the wall.
Okay.
They'll pick up on it.
So I have some family members. They've been doing brick and block for years. No one's ever taught them. They were like yourself. They see somebody do something and then they do it, and then they automatically assume that more Portland makes for better bond.
No.
This is what I
taught
want
you
to lead
that?
to. Well, my father-in-law likes to use a lot of Portland, and I noticed
Makes
that
it weaker,
when there's
no?
more
Makes it
Portland, the
brittle.
brick is dirty, and so this is what basically happens. It's not. It's supposed to be very what the mortar.
It needs. That's why it's 1 part masonry. It's not Portland. It's masonry cement with 3 parts sand, brick sand. That way, when you combine that, you get the right density, the right amount of flex in the mortar. It's all about that. So the Portland's actually inside of the masonry cement, along
It's really
with
simple.
different-
So the harder the Portland.
1, 2, 3.
No,
1, 2, 3.
No, but a lot of people think, and I've seen, the one thing I do know is I see a lot of Portland because I can see it shiny. It's really really gray. I always tell people, why do you have so much Portland? And they say, oh, it's stronger. So
Well,
I want to get rid of that myth.
I think they're confused with concrete, actual concrete, because I'm not a concrete expert, but I have a friend of mine that's a concrete expert. You know him also.
Yeah, Chris.
And he always tells me, I ask him what makes concrete stronger. He always says Portland, more Portland, right? So I think maybe with concrete, they got it confused, but with mortar,
Portland is going to make it weaker.
Yeah.
It's that sweet spot. You have to get that sweet
No, I
spot.
wanted to get that out because I see this a lot of Portland, way too much Portland.
Yeah.
And if anyone's listening out there, they should think less Portland means more quality product, right? More flexibility, less
Not less
cracking.
Portland. You need the right mixture. Some of the projects that I've done, I loved it because we had a silo. So a big tank. It's already pre-mixed, 3-to-1. So all you do, it sits on top of your mortar mixer. You add water to the mixer. You open a lever. It
done.
drops it
Wow.
in. Love it. Love that
Love
system.
that. Nice.
I think everyone should use that system.
Isn't it expensive to have that silo on site?
Who cares? You're not breaking the guy's back.
No, you got a valid point, man. You,
know
got
what I mean?
bags and bags and bags.
Because you got bags and then you got to shovel sand. So the poor guy is standing there throwing 3-4 bags at a time, shoveling 50 shovels of
Yeah,
sand.
that's true,
Rather
it's
than
true.
just opening a lever.
What's the cost to rent a silo or to have the silo?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I've never rented
It does
one.
make sense, man. It does totally.
Like, how much more could it be? 50%?
I agree with you. I
Can't
think I'd
be
rather
more
go
than
that
that,
silo
right?
route instead of having the bags.
Not just killing the actual labor. It's your mix is always the same.
Perfect.
consistent.
Consistency.
Your wall, once you lay a section today, you come back tomorrow, your joints, if you
Behave
got a
the
guy,
same.
if I'm mixing today, you're mixing tomorrow, and it's color. If you're off by a little bit,
Yeah, but
average
you'll see it.
person
No,
might
you'll
not
see it.
see it, but
You'll see it.
I can spot it. I can tell where the guy stopped and where the guy started the next day, right?
Exactly.
But with the silo, it's the perfect mix all the time. It's a
How
no-brainer.
much
man.
has brick changed in the last 15, 20 years?
What do you mean? When you say brick, you mean the actual physical brick?
Well, so I've
Like
seen
the
on a lot of
material or-
homes the actual brick themselves. Yeah,
Oh,
the
the
material. Of the
material.
brick. So I've
No,
seen.
I think bricks have stayed. I think they've gotten better.
They've
maybe.
gotten better, yeah.
So
As far
bricks
as-
have got better. So
Bricks have gotten
What
better.
were you saying got worse then?
Here's my argument. I think the weather has gotten worse. I think the time of the year that we install.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys don't tent they don't tent properly.
Tarp,
they don't
heat.
tarp. They don't heat. They don't
heat
keep
the
heat
water.
consistency overnight. They don't do all those things. And those little details that you're supposed
Yeah.
to do create failures down the line. Brick is supposed to last generations, man. It's
I got a good
supposed
story
to.
for you. So
Go ahead.
I worked with a crew. I'm not going to mention any names for about 2 years.
ABC crew.
ABC. These guys were monsters. 11 bricklayers. We used to do a house a day.
A house a day.
Wow.
Day. We'd work. Usually when it hits minus 17, 18, a lot of guys say, you know what? It's a little bit cold. With wind chill, we call it a day. With these guys, you're laughing. With these guys,
Minus 17 with
buddy,
wind chill.
What do you
minus
mean?
25 with wind chill, we would
And you're
work.
still bricking?
We bricked, man.
We're laying concrete in that
So-
right now.
Okay, so I go back to my theory. It's the weather.
It didn't work out with the company. I go back. It was summertime, and I see, everybody's gone. I hear power washers. I said, "What the fuck's going on?" They're power washing all the houses because what happened is they took the tarp down too early, and the mortar flash.
What does that? Wait.
So-
What does that mean?
They didn't let the mortar cure. So what happens
Fully
if
cure.
if you don't let it fully cure, it almost flakes, like almost an eighth of an inch of your joint will just pop off. You can just
You could put your finger.
run
You
your
could put your
finger.
finger on it, and it'll just crumble.
So they had to go back and power wash I don't know how many houses, and then go back and grind and tuck points and yeah.
Oh my God! How did the brick look itself?
The brick.
They saved the brick.
Yeah, yeah. They wouldn't take it down. They're actually power washing the actual house.
Wow.
The house standing.
So the flashing of the cold, that's what happened, right?
They didn't let. Yeah, you're supposed to let the heaters run, cure the mortar, right? It's
So this is a good point. So during the winter, even for bricklayers, you
Yeah.
should have it hoarded off, tented.
completely.
Well, say
tarred.
clients, I guess clients and PMs of track builders have this mindset that you only need the heat running as long as there's human bodies and they're working.
Yeah.
Well, that's not the case.
Yeah, but how do you get around that? It's so dangerous to let those, especially those
You need a supervisor on site that has to
Yeah.
stay there, right?
supervisor security. But again, cha-ching, cha-ching.
Oh, I
who's
know.
paying
And
for
plus,
that,
you know,
right?
all of a sudden, and they're sleeping, right? And all of a sudden they have a light shine their
There
eyes
has
open.
there has been many fires. I mean, even with the salamanders that are on site, a lot of guys drop a brick. You know, I'm on the scaffold, I smell gas. I look down, you see the line severed.
'Cause the
Just
brick is
rubbered,
sharp.
right?
I
The
know.
brick falls on it, cuts it. Now you got one 10 feet away. You're leaking
Can't
gas.
be, yeah, it's dangerous, right? It's totally dangerous.
Excuse me. So-
Well, I got lots of questions for you, dude. I've been waiting for this.
That's good because you're a podcast host.
Yeah. How far does brick need to be off the ground?
Off
you
the
know, some
ground.
guys go a little too close. I've always been told 8 inches from the actual pour of the solid foundation.
8.
8 to 10 inches, you should be off the ground.
Too low.
I thought it was minimum, like building code was 12.
Yeah,
Okay.
12.
So that's
what I
something
thought.
new.
From
12
grade.
or higher. I mean, you don't need to bring the brick down that low. If you have issues with your foundation.
Hang on a sec. Here's the question. Who's the PM on the job? If it's a concrete guy, that exposed concrete is going to probably be about 2 feet. If it's a brick guy, it's probably going to be about 6 inches.
Well,
you know where
see,
I'm getting at?
I see it on new construction. I got a call from my doctor, and he's like, "Hey, listen, my
In the front of the house,
we have
right?
the same doctor. Massage therapist, and not like that either."
Dun, dun, dun.
the brick's flaking.
Yeah, so the brick's flaking. Obviously, the salt in the ice
the
is
front
getting
of
to
the
it because
house?
it's too low. He's only got about 10 inches, not even there, maybe really closer
That's
to
what's
8.
going on.
Front of the house.
Yeah, so all the skin is completely coming off the brick, and it's just
You got to
falling
keep in
apart.
mind, though, that exposed concrete is, we all know concrete's porous.
Yeah.
So it's wicking the water from the grade,
Yeah.
and it works its way up. And if it gets too high to the first course of brick, it's going to wick into the brick. The brick doesn't dry, then the brick starts to flake off the face of it, and that's how you get failure. So you need that separation, that height, right?
Is there a maintenance on brick? I used to do high-rise window cleaning, and I would get called for commercial buildings.
Depends on what's part
And
of
we'd
the
have
town.
to put sealer on the brick.
Brick is supposed to breathe.
No, but it's a breathable sealer latex. And it would stop.
Breathable sealer.
Yeah, you know what? I shouldn't have said sealer, but it's in that.
Some type of protection to repel water. Not really.
So is there a maintenance for brick or block?
Yeah, just take a look at it. Walk around your house, walk around your building, take a look. Is there any cracks? Is there any cracks in the mortar? Do you see any step cracking? If you see step cracking, look at your foundation. Does it carry to the foundation?
Yeah, washouts,
Right?
so
Just-
on. Yeah.
Just imagine your house
Inspect.
and what goes on during a rainstorm. Follow the path of the water where
Exactly.
it goes. You'll notice that asphalt shingles wear out faster wherever there's a downspout that kind of runs next to it, right?
Yeah.
And the same thing with brick. So if there's a little bit of a roof canopy that comes over a tiny bit, that brick is going to wear out more because there's going to be snow load on that piece of the roof, but that snow load is going to be higher than the flashing.
Right now, I could say for the record, 12 inches is minimum before you get
As
the
far
brick.
as I checked the last
12
time on the
inch and
code,
higher. 12 inches
Yeah.
12 inches higher.
So Lawrence's issues, are they in the front of the house?
Yes.
That's why. See,
how
That's
low
all
is the
salt
brick?
right
What's-
off the road?
At what point is the first course?
because the front of the house, they don't like to have your brick ledge too high.
You
So
need
they
it for
kinda-
cosmetics.
And then it's an older home, right? Because in the newer houses,
Yeah, it's
how
about-
old is it?
12 years old.
Yeah, it's getting better.
Yeah, now
I
it
see
needs
it
to be
getting better.
replaced and
Yeah.
fixed.
So you're asking the material that I see, like for example, the brick, the stone, even the masonry cement, the sand, I find that the products are better. The brick, even the brick ties, believe it or not, I find that the actual products, they are better. I can tell by just grabbing a brick and trying to break it. You can tell the quality.
But I think you were going to, and I'm gonna agree with you. I think the sand is inferior. I think the sand isn't as good as it used to.
It's coarser.
It's coarser, exactly.
So does that mean it's larger?
Like, okay, think about it as a kid. Like when I was in a sandbox playing, that sand was like really nice sand.
Yeah, that's different. Brick sands, it's different.
Yeah,
from
brick sand's got a nice texture to it, and then I find that the brick sand that's sold today is coarser.
It is coarser, yeah. If you're doing any commercial work, for example, the Ryerson University that we did, we built the elevator shaft, all 4 floors. We built the staircase, the demising wall for the staircase, the fire escapes. It was spec'd on our drawings to use a premix. So I love that stuff because it's consistent. The bags are already mixed. You just pop them open, add water, and mix it. New construction, that's why going back to the silos, I think they should eliminate that mix by hand. It'll eliminate a lot of issues. I agree with you, man.
Right? I totally agree.
They
with
really
you.
But
should.
wouldn't you take away the trade that way?
No.
No.
Would you want to start mixing?
They'll kiss you.
your mortar for your tile. They give you 2 bags, and you got to mix equal parts. Would you want to start doing that?
No, you're right. That's a good point.
Would you want to go in January and put a torch on the sand because it's frozen?
Okay.
Break away chunks at a time, or in the summer. Sometimes,
And this is why I'm not a bricklayer.
I remember.
It's like dust. It's like dust.
I remember I used to go through 2 skids of cement. So just imagine how many bags I threw into that mixer. How much of that I inhaled.
Oh, that's another that's the health and safety issue, right? It's true. You know what? I do like. And who are the big players that do the premix stuff?
I'm not sure now.
I'm trying to remember.
I'm not sure. It's a red, and I remember the logo. I just can't recall the name. There's a bunch.
You know
of
what?
companies.
It makes a lot of sense when you're doing
it's
a whole.
available.
Yeah,
so it's not like some people can say, "Hey, it's hard to find." No, it's there.
But I mean, how much are we? Okay, we're not talking a lot of money here.
I would say maximum 50% more. Maximum.
But then you're getting a perfect consistency every single time.
You're mixing faster.
You're mixing
your
faster.
bricklayers are not
So your
standing and
labor's
waiting.
less.
Well, wait a second.
Less labor.
We do have a problem, though. You stated that most guys are only laying 600 instead of 1,200 like you
That's
used
a completely different issue, right? We're talking about the mixing. You don't want a guy staying there all day mixing.
So you're saying having an extra guy on bricks is going to be faster and more productive.
If you can just fill the mixer up with water, crank a lever, fill it up, give it time to mix, pour it, put it up on scaffold, rather than having one guy sitting in a machine and another guy, poor guy, shoveling sand in minus 20 weather or plus 30.
True.
Right?
You know what's funny is that every brick laborer I've ever met has wanted to be a bricklayer.
Yes.
I haven't met one laborer.
I have.
Have you really?
Oh, yeah. I've worked with tons of them.
And they just love being laborer?
Like, there was a great guy, Orlando. This guy was about, I think, 5 foot tall, max. He was an animal.
How the hell did he lift the
taught me
mixer
a
and
lot.
pour?
Oh, man, this guy was...
Really?
Yeah.
Doesn't have to lift up the wheelbarrow that high.
At that time, I think he was around 61, 62. And the guy was an animal,
A brick. He was a brick.
The guy was an animal. He taught me so much. You don't see much of that kind of...
How are the hands of a bricklayer? No, because the way I look at
Picture
it is...
a bear.
No, I know, but I worry about the lime, because what a lot of people don't realize, like in tile setting, and I can just imagine in concrete also, because I do a lot of concrete, I wear gloves. I'm like one of the rare few guys that wear rubber gloves and then put cotton gloves over top.
I
because
noticed that.
you lose protein cells from lime. It eats your hands, cracks it, it dries them up. How many guys in industry have horrible hands?
Back in those days, we used to buy a truck, or a guy would come to site with bags of gloves filled in the back of his car. I think we used to buy like a pack for $5. The cotton ones with the different colors like
Throw
yellow,
away,
green, red. That's what the guys used to wear. That's what we used to wear back in the days. Nowadays, if you go to sites, you see the guys. They have the with
Surgical.
the latex on
Like the
tough,
thin rubber,
yeah,
kind
the
of
thin rubber,
and then the neoprene on the top, kind of thing,
Exactly,
and
those-
they're using that,
yeah,
right?
Which is very smart.
You've heard
smart.
other episodes of this show, right, Yvonne?
Yes.
And I think recently Carlito's been asking about any new products that our guests want to invent.
Yeah.
And you just made me think of something, right? Wouldn't it be really interesting if we actually started coming up with like a bricklayer moisturizer? At the end of the day, you actually take this moisturizer and it actually brings your hands right back to where it's supposed to be.
I forget what the name of it is. I have this green
I've
thing
seen
I buy
that.
from
Oh, you
Home
telling me someone's
Depot.
already done this?
Yeah. And my hands will, like, from the lime, like, 'cause I'm either, if it's not thin set or I'm laying concrete, like today I did 12 yards of concrete. There's no way that you don't get this on your hands. First thing I do is before I start, like my new thing is my hands have dried up so bad. I put the cream on my hands a half an hour before I start concrete.
Okay, here we go.
No, because I want to get my hands saturated.
Put the lotion in the basket,
Hey,
Carlito.
baby. And then after, like, I find myself putting it on my hands for the next hour after.
Man, I was getting ready to do a post on Instagram, man, about like some beauty product, kind of
used
modeling
to
it.
have a big issue. I used to get a lot of
Cuts.
callus here
Oh, okay.
on this section of my index finger from holding the trowel, getting so much mortar with kind of, I used to have to put, it was pretty bad one time. Went to the doctor, check it out. That stuff will eat away your
Have
hands.
they done
man.
studies like of calcium, all that corrosive?
Well, no.
Well, they say Lyme
Breathing that
disease.
stuff, right?
It is a
Yeah,
true fact
breathing.
that you can get Lyme disease.
Or the guys that use the quick cut.
Quick cuts.
Back in those days,
Silica dust.
It's
never
still happening. No one's
we never
hooking up
used
hoses.
masks. We never used glasses. That's the changes that I see that I like nowadays.
Nowadays, they're being more safe.
They're safe.
Which I love it.
They're safer. That's why going back to that like 600 brick a day thing, I think, you know what? It's actually a good thing. Unless they're underproducing, if they're averaging the same amount of bricks every day, it's fine. They're safe. As long all those factors, you add them all up.
Yeah, they still have their
It's not
back.
about production. Yeah, I see even the supervisors nowadays, like the foremans, they're different than back
They're
in
more
those-
conscious of
Yeah,
this.
they're conscious. They're not pushing the guys. They used to always faster, faster. You feel like you're a racehorse, man. Back then,
It
getting
always
whipped.
blew my mind whenever I would drive by, let's say, a hospital,
Yeah.
and I saw a doctor outside having a smoke. You know what I'm saying? It just always blew my mind that there was none of this care. I don't get it. And I'm sure that still is. You see it. I'm sure guys are still not putting the respirators on, putting the goggles on. And it takes one split second. That's all.
But at the same time, I see the builders have laborers, super assistants. When they see you, they're writing the guys up. They're telling them, listen, next time I see you without your glasses, strike 3, you're out of here. There's a lot of
That's good to hear.
even with the unions, they're doing a lot of great seminars on teaching these guys PPE, right?
Yeah.
all the protective stuff. That's
Well,
great stuff.
you're up to all your.
Yeah,
you
I
have
don't
your
know how
propane.
many.
You have your
I got-
fall arrest. You have everything.
I don't know how many. I got about 7, 8 cards. I have to get them because we do commercial work, especially like we're talking about Ryerson. The whole crew, we spent a couple of weeks just going to get all the licenses and this
You
and
have
that
to.
and updating them. You have
Well,
to.
you're just not a typical contractor. You're pretty diverse. Like
We
you
do-
you do second floor additions, you do renovations, but
We
a lot of
do-
people don't know. You do a lot of Loblaws.
I'm very lucky. I'm
yeah.
fortunate. I've actually, throughout networking and family and friends, I've kind of tried every sector of
Got it.
construction. Loblaws, we did a lot of renovations. For Loblaws, I think the last store I did was my 67th store.
Wow, dude.
Holy cow.
Yeah, since 2014, probably done around 240
What are you're
bathrooms.
doing all the brickwork on the outside?
No.
What are you doing?
Interior renovations.
All the interior
so all
renovations.
their public bathrooms, staff bathrooms, some of their kitchens.
Wow. So next time I go to Loblaws, I'm going to go to use the John.
I've done them from Ottawa to Windsor, from downtown to Collingwood. I've done
So
But
them.
this guy's an animal.
So you Yvonne, you've met Bob Loblaw?
No. No. Bob,
Isn't that his name?
Bob Loblaw.
No, but he does a lot
Bob
of
Loblaw.
he does a lot of kiosks. Like
Yeah, we've done
for CN.
We
and-
did. I think we did a Lindt chocolate in Eden Center a couple of years ago.
Did they give you any chocolate?
Yes, they did
Oh,
actually.
look at that, eh?
We've done
you hear that?
some
Yes, they
kiosks
did.
for like telephone companies. Did a few restaurants. We've done pretty much.
So you like
a
the
little
commercial
bit of
side?
everything. I like all parts of it. Right. I've even worked for a developer. We had 3 7-story buildings. I was there for about 6 months, helping them manage, bring in trades, kind of quality control, doing. I was on the machine in the office, everywhere.
So how many guys you got working for you?
Right at the moment, we have 2.
2 guys.
Yes.
That's it.
Myself and my main guy, Andrew Anderson. He's been in the business for a long time. He's around, I believe, 63 years old. And we have another skilled guy that we kind of send out the sites to repair
But you
this,
sub
repair
out.
that.
That's what you do.
Yeah. I like
Well,
to,
he's a PM. You're a PM.
Yeah, we're general contractors. I mean,
You've
my
got like
company,
30
we're a
trades under
construction
you.
company. Yeah, we have, for example, plumbing. We have about 3-4 plumbing companies. It all depends. If it's commercial, we use this guy. The other company doesn't do commercial. So HVAC, electrical, framing, every part of it, every division. So we do pretty much a little bit of everything.
Was that always the plan when you got started? Were you looking towards the future this way, that you'd be a PM running this kind of a ship?
Yes, kind
Yeah?
of. When I started, I always wanted to do just like custom homes, which at the moment we're doing 2.
Are they really custom homes, or they just have a title custom
No,
homes?
they're custom. Once I'm done with them upgrading this and upgrading that,
Custom means custom.
keeping the client's budget.
Yeah.
Right. I like to go above and beyond. If it's custom, it's custom. We don't like to do any kind of cookie
Two
cutter.
very similar homes, or are they different homes?
2 different homes.
Two, like contemporary style? What kind of style are we talking about here?
Yeah, they're both pretty much contemporary. Yeah?
Nice.
There's one up here in Etobicoke. The other one's in Markham. We have another one coming up this year. We have an addition in Toronto coming up this year. A lot of stuff lined up for the year. So we're doing a lot of residential this year, but I had a meeting today. A lot of commercial work coming this year also. So be a good year. Keep
Commercial work is
everybody
good
busy.
because I guess the money is good, but the turnaround is quick.
Money is good. Everything's spec'd. So you get a package. This is your package. Build it this way. Nobody calls you.
Read
says,
the book.
I don't want that. Change it to this. I don't like. So it's here's your package. Build it.
How about we start doing that in residential, custom? We start packaging
I'm
it.
trying to. We're trying to. I'm putting a team together. Started last year trying to put a team together of designers, architects. Put together a package so when a client calls, we can go meet with them, give them a package, tell them, listen, what's your wish list? What do you want to do? Just a simple meeting. Okay, this is your wish list. This is what you want to do. We can give you a package that'll cost this much. It'll include this, this, and this. A design rendering, material selection, architectural drawings, permit application, if we need to go to zoning. So we're still in the works. A lot of bigger homes, a lot of people that are building like 7,000 square foot plus, they'll actually reach out to designers and they'll put the package together. We've priced a few projects like that. So the client comes to us with a package. They have their own architect, they have their own designers. They'll send you specs for complete build. We want this shingle, this roof, this chandelier, this toilet, this tile, this kitchen. Here's all the manufacturers.
So at that point, why hasn't the designer that's been involved and put that whole thing together, why don't they just suggest a builder on their roster?
They do, but a lot of the times the homeowners, they like to...
They want to mix and match it?
Shop around.
Really,
around.
yeah?
Yeah, they want to shop around.
Shop around for prices or shop around for quality?
Both.
Because that's important to me.
It depends. Some designers and contractors work hand in hand. I mean, you hire me, you're getting my builder and my architect.
Do you think clients are kind of nervous about having everything in a one-stop shop, like the designer, the architect, the builder?
My opinion, 2 things. Either the builder or the designer. So you pick the designers, let them refer you some builders. Most likely they'll have one, most of the time, from my experience.
They have their first one that they always recommend.
If you're spending the money to put a package together, why not ask around family, friends, or however people source contacts out through the internet. A lot of good sites on the internet, contractor, builder sites. Pick a couple of builders out, send them the package. A lot of them might tell you, you know what, I'll give you just a total lump sum this is a guesstimation. Your home will cost $700,000 to build. A lot of the times, some of the contractors will say, for a fee, I'll give you a breakdown of the budget of all the divisions, 16 divisions of construction, for a fee. So I think the main thing is the clients should do their homework. They really should.
100%, man.
They really should. You're investing a lot of money.
I've
Do
always
your
said they should
homework.
spend more time investigating, researching.
Ask questions.
Yes,
Ask
and then the
questions.
actual build itself.
Yeah, ask questions. What's the last house you built?
Yeah.
Can we go see it?
Yeah, but you and I have run into problems because we've done projects together. Sometimes when I couldn't take projects on, you're the only person that I would give my work to GC a project and take it over. Me losing it, I'd rather see someone that I trust at least make a business out of it. You and I have run into problems where people have brought their architects and engineers. It's created more problems because they never used your or my architects or engineers, and it can be a problem in the long run, right?
It goes back to what I said earlier. It's a big investment for a homeowner. So do your homework. Don't jump on the first builder or contractor that comes to your house and gives you a super
Don't
nice
rush.
salesman speech and
I agree.
smile ear to ear.
Yeah.
So shop around. It's a big investment. I mean, the average home nowadays, basic, you're starting at around $200 a square foot. That's a start.
And that's low.
Basic
Yeah.
start, and it can go up to 400. It can go up to 600. I've heard some guys built cottages for 600 a square foot.
Wow,
Cottages
that's
are not
amazing.
cottages anymore.
That's
man.
high end.
For example, you're investing that type of money. Spend the time. Like I said, you want to buy a $50,000 car. What do you do first? You go test drive it, right?
It's true.
Shop around, ask questions, ask for previous work, ask for previous clients. Hey, I just want to give them a call.
Do you miss being on the tools?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, I
But you're not
really
on the
do.
tools all that much now.
I have my tool belt. I was off the tools for a bit. I just didn't have time. Now they have those nice containers with a stackable. I went out and I bought all
Sustainers.
the sustainers.
Sustainers.
I
all
love
the,
those. I have them too.
I bought the
sustainers.
Milwaukee ones.
Who? What's your go-to tool? I already know this. You and Manny are going to get along.
Hilti.
No. You changed. You used to be a Bosch guy.
Bosch I like for hammer drill, like certain things I like Bosch. But
You used to be a Bosch
I love
guy.
Hilti. I love
Good
Hilti.
for
I got
you.
it, once I got
Hey,
into
that's
commercial.
why we get along.
Once I got into commercial, and we really didn't have. I think towards the end we got Hilti, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Towards the last year,
And that opened
we got
my
Hilti.
eyes up to it, and I really
I still
enjoyed
have-
it.
So let me get this straight. A bunch of free tools were given to you guys, and they happen to be Hilti, and that's why you guys are Hilti?
No, but I had free tools from. This
We
sounds
had from
horrible.
everyone,
I
yeah.
had free tools from all of them,
Yeah.
and I got to choose what worked for me.
Okay, here's a more important question, which I already know the answer. Truck or van?
Truck.
Of course.
Yeah,
pull
But
a
hang on a
trailer.
sec.
wait a second, but
Which-
ask him what he
which-
misses.
Right.
You miss vans.
You got it outside. I can borrow it from you. Right? I had an exact same van. I had it for a long time. I love that van. Did a lot of work with that van. A lot of work.
Because you can get a lot more stuff
Yeah.
safely locked up inside
Yeah.
than a pickup truck, right? That's the thing about
Listen,
it.
I didn't want to get too far away from brick because this is my opportunity to talk brick and block with
Yes.
you.
B&B?
You said something really important at the very beginning. We are losing our masons and our bricklayers and our block layers, and it's a lost art.
Guys are
what
not
is
getting
happening
into
to
it.
the
Hang on a
industry?
sec. Because why?
Guys are not getting into it.
What's the reason why they're not getting into it?
The actual work, it's tough work. It's not easy.
It is
You know
hard
what I
work.
mean? It's hard work. The other thing is the money's not that great, to be honest. What I see,
It's not?
No. What I see these guys making nowadays very similar to what I used to make 10 years ago. You know what I mean?
So what's going on here is that the money, okay, the job has gone up. The price of the job has gone up.
yeah, but it pushed you into a different tax bracket. All the dues and everything went up.
So that means that the actual hourly rate went down.
Hourly rate increased, but
Taxes decreased.
taxes, there's so many, like, I should have brought one of my bills if you would have told me my last stub from a couple of years ago. There's like 6, 7 different deductions, right?
That's
Through
depressing.
union and this and that and
That's depressing, man.
yeah. So the
It's
money,
true.
It's don't get me wrong, it's good money, but it could be better. Like the guys work hard, not just for masons. All construction guys, especially the guys that are on new subdivisions. A lot of guys squawk. A lot of people say, yeah, they rushed it. Slap it up, cookie cutter. Yeah, but go ask them what they're getting paid to drywall the whole house, to tape the whole house, to
That's
paint
the
the
reason
whole
why
house.
that they're slapping it up.
Yeah, they have to. They got families.
Okay, but
they
I guess my argument is like, where's the money going then? Is the money isn't really there?
I can't say.
Okay,
plead
so
the fifth.
my analogy was really
That's the
simple.
States, by the
When
way.
you look at professional sports athletes,
Yes.
and you hear about what their salaries are, and people start crying about those numbers and more are coming into the stadium. So the owners of the company or the teams, the owners of the facility, that money is there. So are we, that's my argument. Are the GCs taking too much money, or they're like, is the overhead too much? Is it like there's way too many? Now as a business owner, you've got so much overhead that these younger guys don't realize.
Yeah.
They go, oh, you're making all the cake. You're doing it. Yeah, but I'm carrying all these insurances. I'm carrying all these WSIBs. I'm carrying all this safety stuff. I'm carrying everything here. So I have to pay for all that. So it has to cover all that shit. Oh, that was Carlito's phone. And he's
That's
the
weird
first
because I'm
one.
wearing my Bluetooth and it went off.
He's the first one of 2020. They're
Hi.
busted.
A little bit. It should be a little bit higher. I'm not saying double their wages, turn them all into NBA salaries, but a little bit better. A little bit better.
Are the guys asking for the same amount as their age or more?
What do you mean?
Well, if a 25-year-old comes in, I go, I want to get paid 25, 26.
They got the union backing them up. There's already set fees. You can't pick and choose.
That's it. So you work with union guys.
When I did masonry, I did only union.
That was it.
That's it. I was in the union for 10 years.
Still a member? You still
No.
kept it?
No.
Moved on?
I told you needed cameras.
You
would
have
have saw that.
You have the same views as me.
You would have saw that.
When it
See?
comes to union.
Okay, so I really believe that for individuals like yourself, a union doesn't work. But there's a lot of people out there that need a union. You don't have to do your own paperwork. You don't have to do your own taxes. You don't have to chase your own customers.
smells like-
Where's the violin?
Yeah, it smells like there's a union member here. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. It smells like there's one here. I don't know.
But even more important, before before Manny interrupted me.
Sorry.
No, how does that saying go? It goes.
Is that your union rep at the door? He's got some hats for you.
So now we lost all these amazing trades.
Yeah.
We haven't
Has
lost them.
brick and are you seeing a decrease in brick and block in the industry right now? That's my first part of the
No,
question.
it's actually getting more technical.
So how are they keeping up?
The workload
Are we
is not-
bringing more
it's-
people in from
it's-
other parts of the country now, or other countries?
No, other countries, man.
No, it's
I'm
there's
hearing a lot of
shortage.
Mexican
There's a-
workers coming legally here to work, and they're taking a lot of work, or they're
some
doing
of
the
it,
work
a
now.
I'd say small percentage, but the workload's not what it used to be. The amount of houses they put up now is not like what it was in between 2001 to 2010, right?
They're not
the
building that many-
subdivisions are not that big.
Plus, you're not doing full brick homes
Yeah,
now.
I mean, nowadays it takes them a week to do a house.
Is that
Longer.
because there's less guys on a house?
No, they're a little bit more technical. Some of them. There's a lot of different. There's some of them are cookie cutter, Some of them are just front of the house is a little bit of stone and brick. The rest of the house is siding. So it
That's
all
what I mean. They're
depends on
adding
the
a lot more
builder,
different
yeah.
kinds of cladding materials.
What's your favorite brick?
I was to build my own house, I'd just do all stone, the whole house.
Wow.
All four sides?
All four sides.
Boy,
Stone, precast around the windows.
Wow.
I
Somebody's
would do
making pure
All
cake.
stone. I love
No
stone.
cookie here, all cake.
That's it, buddy. Cake with chocolate
All right,
on
so
top.
here's the major question. How do we make it, because I really want to do this, how do we make it more attractive for younger guys to go, I want to be a bricklayer?
But it's not just bricklaying. If you think about it, the whole industry
Stonework.
is short, right?
Well, yeah, though, but the thing is, I don't think there's ever going to be a shortage of framers. I don't think there's ever going to be a shortage of tile setters, drywallers, electricians, mechanical. I don't think there's ever going to be a shortage of
Mechanical is
those.
different. Mechanical,
But concrete,
Yeah.
Forming
Concrete.
foundations, roofers, bricklayers,
Yeah.
stonemasons. You are always going to have a
Look
shortage.
at what you just named. All the hardest jobs.
All the hardest jobs. That's what it is. So how do we make them get in? How do we make them get into this business?
That's a tough one, buddy.
How do we make
that's
it
a tough one.
attractive? The government should probably be making some really cool looking kind of commercial spots and getting.
Well, we'll
maybe.
figure that out in the next few years. But what is your favorite brick? If you had a brick,
you're just
like
gonna dismiss-
Manny
you're gonna
loves,
dismiss that valid
Manny
point.
loves these like 12 elongated 12.
No,
inch.
To be honest, I like that stuff.
The original
The,
Ontario sized brick. I've always been a fan of the
Ontario
original.
sized brick is beautiful.
I love
yeah.
that, but I love what's coming out of Europe and Italy.
Yeah.
These really
Even the
long
States.
linear 16-inch
Colors, glazing. What do you think of all that?
Colors, to be honest, colors, I like the old original
Yeah.
red clay
Wow.
brick.
Brick is
New
brick.
York style brick.
Yeah,
Brick
I
is
love
brick.
that stuff. Even with the yellow accents around
Yes.
it, I like that
Yes.
look too.
Even you bring up
Yeah.
Ryerson. Ryerson has the original buildings have a lot of yellow brick, like
Yeah.
the yellow brown brick.
Now,
Yeah.
And I like
that's
those
a
bricks.
sawdust brick, right?
Sawdust brick.
No.
Yeah, there was bricks back in Canada that a lot of bricks were built in with sawdust in Portland.
Maybe.
That's new to me. I've never heard of that.
it
Where'd
was.
you get that from?
I mean, I talk a lot, buddy. I talk to all kinds of people. I see bricks falling apart, and I say, "Why is that happening?" And then people have said, "Well, that's a sawdust brick," and that's why I'm asking because I want to
Maybe.
figure this out and see what's
Am I gonna
what's
get an
fact,
email?
what's not.
Am I gonna get an
probably.
email?
The actual quality of the product, it's gotten a lot better. To be honest,
Yeah, you're saying that.
you don't see as much efflorescence as
Yeah.
you do on.
That's
the
true,
newer
you
ones,
don't.
right?
And
You
why
don't.
is that?
Quality of the brick, the quality of the brick. It
manufacturing of the
doesn't
brick.
absorb moisture. It's not holding moisture.
Oh, so it's not wicking it in
Yeah.
from the mortar.
Yeah,
Wow, that's a great
not
point.
just from the mortar, from the actual brick itself. There have been many recalls. Like even there was some back in the days. A lot of houses had to come down.
The brick was that bad.
Yeah, the factories screwed up, so I had to take it all
Now,
down.
you've let's move to a little bit of block work. What is the traditional and what do you recommend when you do block, say for a basement or for a wall?
Basement, I like cast in place.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't like block. ICF, even better than cast in place.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've never done ICF. I want to do it. I want to try it out.
Now-
I did it's still to this date one of my favorites. You don't see it around. The Durasol.
Yeah, that's the hay and the concrete, wasn't it?
They're actual blocks that are made of
Straw.
demineralized wood, which
that's
is
right,
mixed
yeah.
in with
Timber strand.
some type of cement mixture, 12 inches high, 12 inches wide by 16 inches long.
Filled
And
with rock
They
salt.
actually have rock salt insulation in the cavities. And
Really?
yeah.
And you can put it in with PL. You don't even have to put
you
thin
can
set in,
PL
right?
it in place. Yeah. So what you would do your footing. What we did on the project.
The first time I saw it was you doing
Yeah,
it.
at Mike's garage.
Oh, on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, it wasn't a part of the show. It was after I left the show. Mike asked me to come to his place and do some work. So I put up his garage. I did pretty much the excavation.
So
footing.
what's the brand name about this product? What is it called?
Durasol?
I think you're right.
Man.
And so it's
me Google
so it's an ICF product.
I loved it. Yes.
It's an ICF product, but the actual instead of it foam, it's not foam. It's
Rock
strands.
salt.
Here.
But it's strands of timber strand
Okay.
with Portland in it.
Yeah. With some type
Oh,
of cement
wow.
mixture.
So it doesn't conduct.
It's 50, the technology, if I'm correct, one of the reps told me they developed it in Germany. It's, I think, 30 or 40 years old or something like that.
And why did
It's-
you like it so much?
Because
Why
it
did I
makes
like
sense, man.
Yeah, it's light.
Look at it. It makes sense.
You just put it together. I mean, you should have a little bit. There are a few tricks that you need
So
to know.
basically, it's a block.
It's a block.
but it has rock salt in it.
Yeah, it's that block there it's very light. You can pick it up with 3 fingers.
But it's very wide. If I remember correctly,
Yeah,
it's
it's,
very wide.
I gotta
Yeah,
check
there's
that out.
different sizes. I think there's 12 inch and then 14 inch. But
Are they
they're 12
doing-
inch high by 16 inch.
Are they doing a lot of work here in Canada? But you're saying it's from Europe?
No, they had a plant, I think, out in London. I think I haven't worked with them since. I've seen it around. There was one of their main reps that we kind of kept in touch through. Even Chris is good friends with them. He did a lot of builds up in Meaford. He built a lot of homes. He built a few homes with it.
That makes sense, man.
I
like
love
that.
it. So
Yeah.
you do first course, like I
So
said.
how come you're not doing it for your customers now?
It's their architect, unfortunately.
Spec,
The one that's
the book.
coming up this year, actually the edition I can't, but potentially there's two. I even want to use that new product I've been noticing around, the zip wall. I love it. That thing looks amazing.
What is that?
The zip wall.
Well, it's from Huber, right? The
Yeah.
thing is, I've heard good and bad things about the zip wall.
What are the bad things?
They're not sealing it perfectly regarding the vapor and moisture barriers. It's not a
What do you
perfect
mean?
seal.
The product itself or the application?
The product itself, when it gets taped to the next panel.
Yeah.
Look into that
Yeah.
and just the product itself as a panel
Yeah.
works perfectly. But you never build a house that's 4x8. Right?
Yeah.
So you've got to attach another panel.
Yeah.
It's the actual installation and how that zipping, the taping, putting it all together, those are not perfect. This is what I'm hearing through
Yeah,
scientific
but
studies.
believe me, before I do anything with it, I'm going to research the shit out of it.
Look at the look at the science behind it and
Yeah.
make sure that it is doing what it says it's supposed to be doing. Because it's one thing, and there's a lot of companies out there that will call a lot of features to their specifications
Yeah.
when it's lab tested. Lab tested is not home custom build tested. So it's two different environments,
yeah.
right? So until you start showing me home on site tested and those
On the
results,
field, yeah.
I don't listen to you. You want to make a nice lab and make it all perfect and everything, I won't listen to you. So I'm just hearing, do your own homework. Like you say, we always tell clients to do all their homework. As contractors, we want to try a new product. Doesn't matter if the masses are talking all positive about it and everybody's jumping on
Yeah,
board.
that's
it.
all crap.
I don't.
Doesn't matter about that because
yeah.
there's been lots
They
of products
can talk.
that have been expressed on IG that all of a sudden everybody jumps on board because all of a sudden the brand gave it out to everybody to try it out, and then all of a sudden 4 months or 6 months or a year later,
Whoops.
it sucks and nobody's using it, and you can't Kijiji the shit out of that product to get rid of it. So I would just say, as contractors, do all your own homework and find out for
definitely.
yourself.
With everything that you, every
Building
product.
envelope is a serious thing,
Huge.
and everyone is every brand is saying their own thing. And it's hard to kind of find out, okay, well, who's right, who's wrong. And until you get a bunch of research, and I don't know, me personally, I would start with the Germans. I think they've been doing a lot of good stuff. So whatever's going on in Europe, I would pay attention to those studies.
Can you say that again one more time? The Germans?
These Germans.
Oh, the Germans.
Couple of things, even insulating. Like I mentioned, we worked on 3 7-story buildings, and what we did was we spray foamed from the outside. So the masons would go attach all their brick ties, special system, block lock. They chalk it out, install them. Spray foam guys would come in, spray foam, and you start laying your stone. Why aren't they doing that on homes? Best way to insulate a home is from the outside. It's not a secret.
Well, some people are
1000%,
they're coming up with new
dude.
technologies or with new theories of technology saying that it's better from the inside now.
No way.
So
That's why even
What the theory behind ICF? Where is the foam? It's on both
Exactly.
sides, man.
Yeah.
So why are we not? It's just recently that we started applying 1 inch or 2 inch foam panels on the outside and then putting your exterior cladding. Right. I've seen homes where it's been 10 inches of rock solid cavity. But the problem became, how do you fasten cladding to that?
Yeah.
Even if you put a bracket on there and you try to, you're going to get sag. But the thing is that what I hear from studies, the insulation should be on the outside.
insulation shit. That's why I like stucco. A lot of guys go, "Hey, you're a mason." Why? I love stucco.
You love stucco?
Ephes, it's beautiful.
Really?
Oh yeah, you like.
So you throw a golf ball at
actually,
it?
you do some really good stucco work.
Not myself, my stucco
Yeah, your crew.
contractor.
Give me a golf ball.
Throw it at it. I mean, golf ball shouldn't go through. No way.
No?
No, that's a little bit too much. Yeah.
I don't know.
I've only used Duroc. That's the only product
I could
use,
throw
right?
a golf ball at brick and stone. Won't do anything but give me a black eye.
Yeah. Oops.
That's 2 for
It depends.
220.
But the stone is not. It's not insulating your house from the outside, right? So.
True.
And what do you have between? Even with brick, the application, like they were using Tyvek, and there was issues with Tyvek.
Yeah,
and
'cause it
this
wasn't
and
breathable.
that. So when they do stucco, they put on. There's a lot of other companies. I only use Duroc. They have a polar bear jacket, the trowel-on polar bear jacket. That it's beautiful. It completely seals the outside. Then you apply your puck system.
Oh,
the
really?
actual foam, yeah.
Well, you're supposed to have that 7-part in a stucco system.
Yeah, but how do you
Integra
accomplish that?
Spec is my favorite. I know we all have our ICF favorite.
Yeah, I've heard of
It's
that.
all about webbing, really.
Yeah, I've heard.
At the
I
end of
think
the day.
we did a small edition down in Burlington a while back with that. Is it Integra spec?
Yeah.
Or the red and black symbol logo, something like that.
I don't know what they have now. I don't even remember.
There's a
the
bunch
color
of them
it.
now.
I think
There's
it
a
was blue.
bunch.
But what do you not like about block, and what do you like about block?
What do I not
Because
like
it
about
sounded
block?
like you
Well,
didn't
it
like block
has-
work.
It has its application, right?
And what is the
Block work,
application?
for example, residential, if you're doing a block of townhouses and you're demising firewall, okay, do it out of block. Commercial, if you're doing an elevator shaft, do it out of block.
No basements.
Basements, no.
Garages?
Yeah, if you're doing a garage, separate garage.
Why
well,
not the basements? Is it because of waterproofing and stuff?
No, I just don't like the, there's too many fracture points, the joints.
Got it.
I'd rather it be solid.
Solid concrete with
right?
rebar in it.
Cast in place.
True.
Nice rebar.
What's a good amount of block to be laid a day?
I would say maybe around 200.
And what would you normally have done? Just out of curiosity.
I can't remember. Somewhere maybe around there.
Yeah.
Around there, 200.
And why is that? Because of the weight, or
it's heavy, yeah. Yeah, there are lightweight blocks, but they have to be spec'd, and right?
I was always interested in being a brick mason until
Yeah.
I saw the blocks.
I mean, on the weekends for extra cash, the older Italian guys say, hey, you want to make some money this weekend? Okay. Come on, we're doing a basement. So we'd go Saturday, Sunday, and I'd have to lug sometimes 12-inch block down one plank into the pit.
exactly why
Right?
it turned me off,
and
man.
even these older guys, like, you're fucking laying 12-inch blocks all day. That's heavy.
and you know what? I like with that you don't agree with basements, because whenever I've walked into block basements, there's always a blowout. There's always cracks. There's always water problems. There's always hollow spots. There's always
It's porous. A lot of times they don't call for it to be filled. Maybe just the first 4 feet. Oh yeah.
what?
Yeah, I've seen that on
it
some
depends.
drawings.
All engineer specs. When we do structural, like in commercial, it's always got to be filled, doweled.
4 feet at the bottom.
Horizontal rebar,
You
vertical.
would assume that the whole thing would be
Yeah.
filled. You know what though? You know what happens? It gets filled. It gets filled with the bags, the empty bags from masonry.
There you go. See, he knows the,
It gets filled with debris that's
Oh,
laying
yeah.
around. It gets
Yeah.
filled with like brick that just showed up or something, right?
I mean, it's funny. Sometimes you'll have engineer spec it that the last course needs to be filled. How are you going to fill the last course? It's going to keep falling in. So then you get the bags and you push them down. Then it's okay
Wow.
for your anchor bolts, right? For your framing.
That's right.
So,
but that's not a
different
solid
application.
foundation wall. That's what what
And it's
makes
funny
me
you say
nervous.
that, because me and Man have been talking over the last couple of weeks, and we've had the privilege.
I haven't seen you in 2 weeks, man.
Okay, longer than a couple of weeks. And we've had some podcasts with some really cool, interesting people and wild products. And I am still an ICF guy. Like,
Yeah. It
I don't know what it
depends.
is.
It's the issue with ICF, I think it's a bit pricey, and it's so new that people are scared of it.
I don't know. Like Will Gunnell from Gunnell Homes, he's only ever done ICF from his very
They
first
are.
one.
I've heard of.
But
right?
ICF's gone to a new level now. Now guys aren't just doing the basement. They're not just doing the ground
doing the
floor.
whole
They're doing the
structure.
second floor. And now Integra Spec is the only one that has a flat roof, or a roof now that's
Yeah.
ICF.
The roof is filled with concrete?
I want. Actually, you're going. I want you to meet up with them in the States
What do you
when
mean?
you're going.
What type? Like a flat roof?
A flat roof, yeah.
And it's poured?
You pour it after, yeah. They're
So
the only
it's
ones licensed
almost
for
like
this.
a core slab, almost.
Yeah.
So that this way you're completely sealed. So that basically the only thing that you need to do is make sure that you have a thermal break in your basement floor, which you can do with a blanket or styrofoam and spray foam.
Yeah. Most of the projects we've been doing radiant heat in the basement.
And you're still
most
putting
of
4 inches of rigid underneath
Yeah,
there.
3.5 inches of foam.
Yeah.
It's,
And then a puck system.
It's
Yeah.
the actual. The foam is the puck system.
Code is actually for 2 inch. That's your minimum.
Yeah, I
You
always
just
pushed
need-
for 4.
No,
whenever
you,
we did a
you need
4.
R10. Sorry, R10.
The way I
Code
look at
for
it,
what?
For
Below grade?
underneath the basement slab for radiant.
For radiant?
Yeah,
I
you need a
believe
minimum
so.
of
I
R10.
think R10 or R12.
Which
somewhere
is, yeah,
around
so, but what it is it's R10 2-inch rigid foam
Yeah.
is an R5.5 or some shit
I
like that.
I don't like the rigid foam. A lot of guys, we've done.
I'd rather spray foam it.
No, we've done a few projects where they put down the flat rigid foam, and
Yeah.
they'll go back and put wire mesh, and
Yep.
don't like that.
How do you do it?
I like the actual prefabricated panels. We just did a project.
Oh, it's like the Amvic stuff.
Here, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then rubber
It is
tubes.
Amvic.
Yeah,
it's
so
a
it's-
system made, designed for that application.
Yeah.
You lay down all your panels, and then you run your loop.
You run your gravel, your 3/4 crush,
Ex-
whatever, make it flat, and then you put all your panels.
Level it
into
out.
Yeah.
Drop your panels.
But Manny, for me, it's important that the two biggest spots next to doors or windows that are heat loss, 35% of your heat loss, or your cold comes in from, or
I mean,
where the most loss of energy is your attic, your ceiling, and your floor.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I believe whatever you plan to do in your roof, like say an R50 or an R60, you should be putting in your floor, because that's where all the cold's conducting from.
Even 2-inch rigid foam. I mean, if you don't want to go crazy, even just 2-inch rigid foam, tuck tape the seams.
Yep.
You'll huge difference.
Yeah, but you
even-
know what? What's the big deal about doing 4 inches? Then you get a better thermal break.
Well, I'll tell you. If you go 4 inches,
Higher R
depends
value.
on your footing, right? So you have your footing where your foundation wall meets your
Sure,
footing.
you're right.
Sometimes you can't add that much. You're going to lose ceiling height. 2 inches is a lot.
on an
for
older
ceiling
home, you're
height,
right. But now all the new custom homes,
Yeah.
all basements are 9-10 feet now that everyone's building. Nobody's building
Not-
small
not
basements
all.
now.
Not all. Yeah,
Not unless it's an
9 feet.
existing home and you're just
Yeah.
attaching to it.
No, new homes definitely they should. I mean, for what's it going to cost them?
It
$300-400
doesn't.
bucks.
It doesn't cost them
And
anything to
rigid
go that
foam?
extra foam,
Throw
the
it
extra
down.
floor. I mean, yeah.
But
I don't know what I'm saying. Sorry, it's not going to cost them any more to give that extra foot. So if you turn that basement from an 8-footer to a 9-footer, it doesn't cost that much more. The foundation
doesn't cost them more, but they're charging you.
Oh, that's the joke. I've heard about that because I've had friends of mine who bought builder grade, and that upgrade alone is like
Yeah,
$40,000 or
it's
$50,000.
huge. Yeah.
And we all know that the concrete guys bringing the extra taller forms
Yeah.
doesn't cost that
Doesn't
much
cost
more.
them. I mean,
and the extra
concrete-
material, concrete doesn't
Concrete.
cost that much more.
extra. It'll not that much more, but it'll cost
Yeah,
them.
it'll be a couple of trucks, maybe a couple of barrels,
Yeah.
maybe 3 barrels or more. I don't know, whatever it is, but it's not $40,000 upgrade.
9 feet, I think, in my opinion, should be standard.
I agree with you.
ceiling height.
Builder grade homes don't make money on you buying the basic home. Builder
Yeah.
grade homes make
They
money
want
on
the
you
upgrades.
upgrading to the tile number 3 selection,
Yeah.
or the basement going to 9 feet.
Yeah.
That's where they make the money, right? So it's like parking.
Yeah.
The city doesn't make money because you pay for parking. The city makes money because you forgot to pay for parking. You got a ticket. That's how it works, right?
Yeah.
I want to get into a little bit of health and safety, and I think also the back end reason why guys are not getting into these hardworking trades is because of the toll it takes on their bodies.
It's true.
Trust me, we all have
back
kinks as you
pains.
get. You're not as old as us, and we all get kinks.
But-
It's a good thing that Carlito and I are both medicated, so we're taking care of our kinks that way.
Well, I did watch a piece of plywood come from a second floor and hit Yvonne in the side of the neck.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which ruined his career in boxing.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll still box you, but he
Wow.
could have went pro.
I don't know about that.
I think he would have went pro.
what happened? Like the
Well,
wind just took it?
We're trying to go a little bit too fast, and the guy kind of just a little bit pushing it. You know, when you push it, you
Yeah.
compromise safety. Always, always. When you drive, when you work, when you're nailing something,
yeah,
you go
yeah.
too fast, you're gonna create an accident. So I passed it up to the guy, thinking all I hear is "got it," turn around, and then
Let go.
last I remember, I'm on the ground with a sheet of plywood on my back. Caused a lot of damage. I still still flares up. I got to go to our friend Lawrence, but caused permanent damage. Wow. Yeah,
And that's what I want to get to is like people don't realize that when you create this damage to your body, you can't just fix it.
No, like going back to masonry, I used to think I'm the Hulk, go super fast. That's why going back to 600, it's okay, safe. It's fine. I have tennis elbow. I have problems with my wrist, with my knuckles, with my knees, with my shoulders, right? That's all from pushing it too much.
But I think when you're younger, there's things that we can do. Okay, but it's hard to say because I was stupid when I was younger too.
Hey, wait a second. Are you
Right?
trying to get people into this business or trying to scare
Well,
them
that's what
off?
I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that, like, I've always argued this point, and this goes back to women being on job sites and all these idiots, these monkeys that say, "Oh, women can't lift this shit up," and I'm like, well, you always have a crew on site that can lift the other half of that shit.
Yeah, that's-
so you shouldn't be lifting it by yourself.
You're
So
right.
It's the same thing with the hardworking trades, the masons, the roofers, and the concrete guys. There's a crew there, so you shouldn't be greedy and go, oh, I'm going to lift all that by myself, which you think you're in your 20s, which is great. You're nice and strong and everything, but you don't know what damage you're causing if you do that 5 days a week. 50 weeks of the year,
7 days a week.
It's
Oh, yeah.
5 days a week. It's yeah, it depends on who you are, but that's
Yeah.
what I mean.
Yeah.
If we're smart, if we think smarter when we're younger in our 20s to actually build, you may actually have a body that'll last well into your retirement years.
No,
Right?
it needs to be redone. I think the whole thinking process behind like construction workers, right? A lot of guys say, well, construction workers, all they do is drink and smoke and this and that, right? But it's not all that.
No.
There's a stigma to it, right? So eliminate that, clean that up. You know, they're not all rough guys. You walk into a subdivision, there's a lot of smart, educated guys, and like any other business, you're gonna have the kind of, you know, rough guys. Clean that up, safety to bring the younger crowd in. I don't know. That's a tough one. It has to be enticing. I mean, money wise.
I don't know. Are they
in
having a hard time
schools,
understanding that there's a lot of schools?
Maybe they should bring it into schools, high schools, get them.
It used to be.
I don't remember anything about construction.
I think, well, there's a 10-year difference between you and I.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, we had wood shop, we had machine shop, we had auto body shops.
I remember auto, like mechanic and
We
auto
had
body. I
home
don't
tech.
remember.
We had
Yeah, but we don't do that anymore because it's high risk, high insurance, high safety. You know what I mean? People could be stupid. And do
I know,
stupid
but there should be a
things.
waiver to say, like, people are losing the. We only have time as kids to learn. You, as an adult, it's very hard to find time to learn.
Here's the thing, right? I think that if you made the trades, all the trades, more attractive, it's good to still focus on safety, health and safety, because that's critical. But I think if you make it the primary focus, you basically are telling people not to get into this business. I think if
But
you
safety costs money, Manny.
No.
This is the
I'm not
problem.
saying to ignore safety, health, and safety. I'm not saying that. It's just I think that whenever anybody talks about trades, the toll it takes on your body, the safety that's attached to it, you're going to be on a job site. Most likely, you might get hit. I remember when I was getting my driver's license long time ago when I was 16 years old. I remember the instructor saying for the very first time, every single one of you in this classroom will get into an accident at some point in your lifetime. That's just statistically probable. That's what's going to happen. So if you get into a trade, people get into an office job, what is the worst that can happen there? A paper cut. You know what I'm saying? I'm not kind of downplaying office jobs or anything like that, but there's a lot more risk in construction. I think if we treat it, if we made the construction industry as glamorous as we dictated the safety and health side of it, I think you would attract more guys of it. Why are individuals? Why is there a particular car? Every guy I know has a car that gives him an erection. Something at some point in their life saw a car. It's the same thing with construction. You've done a job, you built a custom home, you're really proud of it. There's something about that, even though there was headaches on another job or you lost your shirt on another job, but then you did another job and it was amazing, it was perfect, the crew was right, everybody was in sync, it was a well-oiled machine and you felt amazing about it and nobody got hurt, but maybe somebody got a little bit of a tickle hurt. The thing is, I think if you start focusing on making the job really pride-induced kind of glamour, I think more and more guys will get into it.
Well, I think that's what Instagram's done.
No fucking way I am ever agreeing with you on that.
Well-
Instagram is a nasty fucking evil.
No, it is. But
it's
what
a
I'm
nasty
saying,
fucking evil.
But what I'm saying to you is, for the quality people that are out there that are truthful with their work, and this is something I was going to ask Yvonne, but I find that if you do really cool work and you don't have people to see it, it's always nice to show it off, to show your talents, to show your skills, to show your team.
Yeah, I like that. I agree.
show the pride.
Exactly, yeah.
Instagram, and I'm just using Instagram as one of them because that's the one for me. Like, I find that when I post things I'm proud of and people get to see that and they, give me a pat in the back and say, hey, that was really cool. That looked really nice. You feel good about what you're doing. It kind of makes you enjoy work more, even though indirectly it's not you're paying you. But I do know that most successful people don't pay attention to Instagram and Facebook.
That's not true.
Well, I know a lot of guys that are serious businessmen. They don't know. They don't watch TV. They don't listen.
I've met several guys that are not actively on Instagram. Like, they don't feed the Instagram machine. But for whatever reason, I bump into them, and every single person that I bump into, I always ask them what's their handle, because if they know me from Instagram, that means they're on Instagram. And I'm really conscious of going on their page. If I'm following you, I go on your page, and I'll scroll through all your posts, and I'll go right back to the very beginning, because I want to get a sense of your personality.
But I don't think it shows everybody's personality. I don't post it enough.
But my point is, what I'm saying is that they're not actively doing things on Instagram, but yet they're still paying attention to what other guys that they respect are doing.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why I'm saying is that Instagram is evil, but smart contractors can weed out the bullshit players that want to be celebrities and the real contractors. You say that a real contractor who takes pride in their work is not really focused on Instagram. And I think that's bullshit, because I think they're focused on Instagram in a different way. They want to share things differently. The whole idea of social media and the way it should have been and the way our older generation or my dad taught me, or what we picked up from when I paid, like my dad was a bricklayer, and I would always hang out at family functions and they'd be like, oh, he's a bricklayer, he's a bricklayer, he's a bricklayer, he's a bricklayer, he's a roofer. You know what I mean? It's just like, that's the circle of friends that he would hang out with. The thing is that they were quiet about their pride. You know what I'm saying by that?
Yeah.
They spoke to you about their pride, but they weren't loud about it.
Well, Manny, that's like my problem. You always tell me, why aren't you posting anything? Like, I'm doing, I just finished 3 jobs just recently. I don't post anything. And people are like, hey, man, you've been quiet on Instagram. Why aren't you posting anything? And I don't have time for it. I just haven't had time for it. I've really made it a goal for this year to start posting more.
But what's the other thing that I've told you about Instagram? I've told you that if you want to post something, you post your story. That's it. Everybody wants to post the beautiful shit, right? And that goes back to the Kim Kardashian bullshit, which is just we're making up all this crap, right?
So on Instagram, do you think there's guys that post pictures that are not their jobs?
Of course. In the beginning,
what do you think about that?
It's bullshit. In the beginning, I remember my first year, guys were taking my work, and I would find it in Russia. I would find it in Ukraine. I would find it in all these places, right?
False advertising.
It totally is 100% false advertising. Yeah. I got a little upset about it, and then I'd follow through and I'd complain about it. Then I finally just said, fuck it. I don't have the time to do this.
But you know what?
That's the part of it.
For me, anybody that takes credit for anyone else's work or anyone else's pictures is a dirtbag. Honestly, straight up.
But the thing is, okay, I remember my early days of directing commercials. This is way back the way the digital age that it is today, right? You're talking like the mid 90s to late 90s. There was guys that would take work from Europe. They would fly over here, present it as their own.
Oh my God.
And would get an agent and get real work and start their career on the back of other people's work that nobody knew. But you can't do that today because
artist.
That's exactly what it is. So Instagram is doing the exact same thing. 4 years ago, nobody was proficient in Photoshop.
Do homeowners go on Instagram?
Yes, they do.
Find
Yes, they do.
But how do they know? I know
they're believing the Kool-Aid.
Really, and you know what? That's a good point, Yvonne. How many people are looking at your real jobs and someone else is taking the credit for your work?
Lots.
And they believe that somebody else has done it.
The internet, going back to homeowners should research, because the internet it's a scary place, man. Some of the guys on the internet, they have Instagram, they got a nice fancy website, they're on Homestars, Stars, House, that. You look at them, you're like, holy cow, these guys are amazing.
They must be doing amazing.
And then you meet them and they don't even know how to read a measuring tape. So it's like who did all this stuff, right? I'm serious. It's false.
That's my favorite part.
Or you ask some of these guys, what's the true size of a 2x4? Oh, 2x4. Come on. What's?
Are you kidding me?
I'm
Someone actually said that?
Honest to God. Honest
Fucking
to God.
3.5 to 1.5. You fucking
catch,
morons.
You catch the right person in the right time to ask that question if they're full of shit, and you'll get them. So that's the part of it I don't like. Like,
It's gotten worse.
What percentage of how much you think is legit? How much is fake?
That's
what
what.
is it?
Yeah, you
50,
started that question before we even actually started recording, and I'm gonna honestly say that 5%
5% what?
is
That's fake?
legit.
No, 5%.
I think 5% is legit.
See, everybody's been pushing me to get on. Now I'm definitely not going to.
I honestly, I think when I say legit is like the true face of what's going on.
This is what we do. This is what I did.
But people keep forgetting, and this is why I don't like what all these younger, and I'm blaming the younger guys, because all the guys have kind of really, they've milked that cow to death, right? That cow's teats are fucking hanging right down to the fucking ground, right? They just milk that social media cow to death, and they've learned how to photograph. And I'm to blame for this in the beginning too, because I used to share tips on how to photograph, how to manipulate your photographs.
Still do.
I still do that shit. I still tell people how to do it because I learned those tricks. But they know how to get on a job site, and it's kind of like if you go to Egypt and you look at the the pyramids, and you have a lens and you're looking at the pyramid. If you were to just pan right or left, what's there?
Cities.
Hotels and McDonald's and Taco Bell and all this other shit. But in the image, it's the pyramids and it's in the desert and it's beautiful. So on a job site, you photograph it a certain way, and you're only seeing the glamorous part of that section of the house, but the rest of it is a fucking nightmare. That's why I say 5%, because nobody, unless they want to start a bullshit page, where they car crash page, right? Where I don't follow any of those pages. I don't care about that shit. I don't rubberneck. I don't do any of that shit. So I when I look at a post and I leave a comment, I'm justifiably looking at that image. I'm contacting that person. I'm sending them a DM. I'm letting them know. Whenever I reply to anybody, I actually go to their page and I find out who their name is. I do, like, you do all that shit because I actually want to respect the people.
You make it personal.
I make it personal. So I want to leave a comment. I want to talk. That's why I say 5%. I think 95%. Everybody's looking for
huge,
celebrity.
Man.
Everybody
cow.
Now on Instagram, everybody wants to be a celebrity.
And I heard you can buy like followers.
Oh, that's a whole other world.
You can also buy comments
you
now.
You can buy
you can buy everything. Likes, comments, followers. You can buy whatever.
And but it does work for some people. I mean, the whole bullshit. It does work for some people, I guess.
It goes back to that guy stealing that work from Europe.
But you're a very successful guy, Yvonne. I mean, you're a modest guy. You won't say that you're successful, but you do really well for yourself, and you really don't care about any of these
I'm
platforms.
on LinkedIn. That's pretty much it.
I got to connect with you on LinkedIn.
Yeah,
I love
I'm on
LinkedIn. Love LinkedIn.
Hey, here's a question for you. We've been talking about the industry. I haven't really talked about completely you. Where's your business going right now? Where do you see it going? Where do you want to see it going?
Where I want to see it going.
You stay commercial, residential?
I want to do both. A little bit of commercial, residential.
You really like commercial? Yeah, I never liked commercial.
Really? Why is that?
The turnaround.
The turnaround. I remember. Yeah.
They want it fast.
Yeah.
Well, because in commercial, every day that it's not open, we're not making money.
That's how I started with the whole renovations. The original contractor took them 3 weeks to do, which was too long. And they brought me in. We did it. We started Sunday night, and I opened them up on the following Saturday morning. So I did it in a third of the time. So yeah.
Well, I'm one of those guys he hired, and he makes you work 24 hours straight.
I had 3 shifts. So I had morning, evening, afternoon, evening, and then midnight.
Well, at least
the stores
that makes
open,
sense.
Right?
Yeah.
Why not? I like commercial. It's, I would say,
challenging.
No,
it's not challenging.
There's no challenge.
There's no really.
I don't find any. I don't find any.
So you find the challenge in residential?
Yes.
And what is the challenge?
The challenge. I mean, the work at this point. There's really not much challenge in the work we've all been doing it for so long. It's not the work that's the challenge. It all comes down to project management, planning, execution, right?
Yeah.
So with commercial, like I said, they give you a package, everything's spec'd. Unless there's a mistake on that package, which you can easily rectify, shoot a couple of emails, reach out to your engineer, you can rectify it. When it comes to residential, changes, right? You go through
lots of changes.
changes. That's why we're trying to nail down this preliminary kind of introduction, provide homeowners and clients with packages that can.
You've got an uphill battle there because I mean clients.
Actually, it's been working.
Has it been working?
Yeah.
I find that clients, like the more money they spend or the bigger budget it is, the more they want to change or have a voice of changing. They'll sign off on paper. Everything looks great on paper.
Yeah.
Everything looks great on schedule.
Yeah.
And then you build it and it's not quite exactly how it was on paper. Yeah. Then it becomes like a conversation change becomes a change.
Then it goes back to whoever's doing your budgeting. You got to keep them updated on budgets. You got to keep them updated on change orders. I mean, if
and
they
you
don't
can't
know,
say yes to extras.
If they don't know what they're spending, they're going to keep saying, yeah, I want this, I want that. But if you're sending them a report every 30 days, end of the month, and saying, look, this is how much you've spent, this is how much is left, this is what we're doing, this is how many change orders you've done. When they look at the final number and they say, shit, we're 60,000 over budget.
Yeah.
They slow down, right? So that's why nail down a package from the beginning. Get your material selection done. Get that out of the way. Work with a good team of designers. Get that sorted out. Put together a nice package. Get them to sign off. That's what you're getting.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what's included. You want to change it? There's a change order. You're going to pay the difference. I mean, easier said than done. We're all guilty of it. Sometimes we get caught up. We're busy. I mean, before Christmas, we had 7 projects going on at the same time. You get busy. You get a phone call. Hey, I want this. Okay, yeah, no problem. And then that's why you have to have a good team in this business. You can't do it. One guy can't kind of sail the ship, right?
So where do you see your business going, and where do you want to see it going?
We want to stick to residential, custom, boutique, kind of not stay away from cookie cutter. Get into some maybe modern build, some interesting, using different
second
products.
floor additions, underpins.
Actually, you know what? I'll tear it down and rebuild. Mm-hmm. I mean, the city with this setback zoning thing is ridiculous. Even inspectors that I've met, they comment, why are they making you keep 50% of the structure?
Because the permit is cheaper.
Well,
no.
There's also some.
The renovation permit is cheaper than an actual new build permit.
Not just that, it is cheaper. You're right, but the problem is, they should let you tear down, build on the same footprint, not make you go through zoning and this and different. The setbacks change.
That's what the city makes money.
I know, but the average person, they want to save that money.
But the city doesn't want to lose that money, right? So that's why they'll force you. And then you're
smiling.
Oh,
right
I know.
It's
Remember,
stupid.
the city doesn't make money because you paid for parking. They made money because you didn't pay for parking.
Yeah, I mean, they're making enough money with the permits. I mean, how much?
The problem is that the city's spending the money in the wrong places.
There you go.
That's a different podcast.
So what kind of customers are you looking for right now?
Educate yourself before you give us a call. Educate yourself. Get a paper and pen. Sit down with your spouse. Come up with a wish list. Print some pictures out for us. Email us a wish list. Send us some pictures. Just give us ideas rather than, hey, just come over. I'm thinking of doing this and that, right?
Find a lot of people waste your time like that?
Not really nowadays, because we've been around since Veracity's been around since 2012, so we're growing. And at the same time, like I said, I learn something new every day. We rejig it, make it better every day. So when clients call us, give them the kind of instructions of, do you need an architect? Do you have an architect? Do you have permits? Do you need permits? Would you like to use our architect? Would you like a package, architect and build? Do you want us just to refer you an architect? All these questions, right?
Because you also do management too, right? Like sometimes you'll just run a site.
That's based on the project costing. You're talking about either fixed cost or construction management.
Well, I've heard you talk about it.
Yeah. It depends on a build. Construction management should be the only way to go. Fixed cost on a custom build. No. It's a reno, reno you can get away with, but when you're building a home, should be construction management.
There's too many moving parts.
Too many moving parts.
What would you change in the industry if you could do something right now and change it? What's the biggest problem for you right now?
The biggest problem in the industry, I would say, I don't think some people are in it for the right reasons.
You mean the contractors?
Contractors, trades. I think they're just in it kind of for the money.
I find that a lot of trades are in this business for the short-term money.
Yeah, like I'm in it to make a living. I have a family. I have to feed my family. But I didn't get into construction because I wanted to go make a paycheck. I loved construction, something I'm passionate about, right? I think people should get into construction if they actually are passionate about it. Don't look at it as just, hey, quick money.
It's funny you say that because just recently I'm working on someone's house right now. I'm repairing a home 4 bad contractors went through. Or 4 contractors went through. They didn't finish the job. I'm finishing the job. I have no problems finishing this job.
I do.
Customers are fantastic.
I'd have a problem with that.
No, I have a problem fixing someone else's work.
We've declined a couple of big projects.
But what I'm leading to is because I've been so busy and I'm doing so much, a lot of times I will give, say, someone's number or name out. Yeah. Because when I work with them and I GC a job, they are perfect. When I give that trade to someone else, I get calls sometimes. Hey, what happened here? What happened there? And I realize that homeowners don't know what we know as GCs. And now I'm realizing that when I give a number out, I literally have to get paid to double check before, during, and after what they're doing.
You got to be careful.
Because a lot of the trades, they just...
So you're running a nursery.
Pretty much.
But no. I think there's levels of standards. Yeah. When you hire someone and they give you a price, they're giving you a price just for that. There's details that are hidden that only a good GC or a contractor knows, and a homeowner will never know that or even look for it. I'm finding that now I don't want to give numbers out anymore unless I'm GCing it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
you do the same thing. Exact same thing. People call us for trades or architects, and we say no. Like, if you want us involved, we'll come there. We'll put it together for you. But
because they know what to expect from you,
we try to stay away from referrals, because anything goes wrong. All you did, good gesture, you referred somebody. Anything goes wrong, you're the asshole. True. Why'd you send me this guy? Meanwhile, all you did was just make a referral.
Let's play a game, you and me. If I give you work, I give you 10 jobs, you're going to treat me differently than you would someone possibly one time. I'm not saying that's what would happen with you and me, but typically that's what's going on with contractors, most of them, right?
That's why the good guys, I kept them close. I have a few crews, 2-3 crews that they've been with me for about 5 years now. I've kept them close.
If you could do anything over again right now, what end of the business would you be in? Not that you're not going there now, but if you could have started all over again, where would you want to be?
I'd be in the same place. I'm happy where I am.
Wow.
Yeah.
You, Manny?
Oh, I do a lot differently.
What?
I would smack clients in the head. Have no problems with it, man.
No, would there be any trade that you would want to do that you felt like you missed out on, that you would have
I've worked on every single trade. I've done every single trade. I don't have a particular favorite. That goes back to anything I've ever done. For me to speak about it, I need to get my hands dirty about it. So then I could when I speak about it, I'm actually talking from experience, right? So I can have a valid, like for my first year in construction, before that, and I was doing every single job myself because I was literally by myself doing the job, and I would do every single part of it. I did that because I wanted to get dirty and experience it. So then when I actually hired somebody else, I can carry a conversation with them and they meet them 2 seconds and all of a sudden I'm having a conversation. They're like, oh, wait a minute, this guy knows his shit. I don't know everything, but I know enough that I know if you're going to do a shit job. Yeah. Right. So I don't have a particular favorite. I still have a passion for the industry. Clients are still stupid. I think they're undereducated. I think the TV is killing the industry. Yes. I think the internet is killing the industry. I think Instagram is evil. I think that we need to go back to the way it was. And I think you should have a lot more pride. And I don't think the good guy should be penalized. I don't think the bad guy should be penalized. I think the bad guy should just cut their own necks and then just let them do their own work.
And
that's it.
good guys are being penalized.
They're
Our
being-
insurance is going up
Brutally.
Our WSIB.
Brutal.
Some guys
Forcing them out of the game.
First thing I ask guys, do you have WSIB? Yes. Do you have insurance? Yes. Okay, send me an insurance certificate and your WSIB clearance. And 2 days go by. Hello? Call them. Nobody picks up.
Don't have it.
Well, I have it. If I got to pay for it to operate,
What
you
did
should get
did
it.
you just spend? I just got about 13 certificates. That's got to be worth about $3,000. Even fall arrest, that's like $500.
All for the whole
But see,
crew,
this,
right?
this is
years.
where clients don't understand that all this extra. Okay, so apples and apples.
Operating costs.
Operating costs, right?
Yeah.
So when I give you a quote, you get a quote, it's factoring all these numbers in. For me to arrive here in my company vehicle, I'm paying for that company vehicle as a commercial vehicle,
Yeah.
licensing, everything, all that crap, and all the gear that's inside that vehicle. I'm paying for all that. So I got to carry that. That's my overhead. You want to get the cash guy to come in here? He's not paying for any of that.
What's your handle? If someone wants to get a hold of you, they want to build a house, they want to
He's
renovate.
not on Instagram.
We're not on Instagram. I'm on LinkedIn. Yvonne Jatou, Veracity Group. We're working on getting our site back up. It was mostly geared for commercial. We were doing a lot of commercial at the time. We kind of changed it up. A lot of the big retailers we were working for, we didn't want to do too much residential criteria. We weren't doing it at the time. We recently were upgrading it, adding some new stuff to it. We'll get it back up.
Is there-
VeracityGroup.ca.
2020, guys. This is a big year. What's your goal this year, Manny? There's got to be something that you really want to do this year. Last year, you wanted to put out so many podcasts, and we're
This year
doing really
it
well with
involves
that.
hookers and drugs, man. That's all it is.
Wow.
Hookers and drugs.
I was hoping he's going to say get some cameras with these podcasts.
We got one camera. We're going to start small. One camera.
I'm just
This
kidding.
this year is to learn more. I've already told everybody on Instagram that I'm going to read 52 books. I've already read 3 books. Right, I'm on my 4th book right now. It's January 15th.
Nice.
So I'm on track to do 53, which is the most amount I've ever read. The max I ever read was 20, which was last year. But I gave myself that goal. I want to do 52 podcasts this year. We're going to do that. I want to travel to 2 new places this year. I want to build new ideas.
Wow.
I want to learn new ideas. I'm going to the IBS next week. So I'll be there. So I'm going to be guest speaking there for Jalwyn, which is fucking great. I don't know what else. I don't know.
I just wanted to say something about the reading part. I was reading something and it said that rich people like to be entertained and poor people like to read.
I'm beyond poor.
Yvonne,
That's funny shit,
what are your goals this year?
Pretty much spend some more time with the kids. I got 3 young boys. I got a
You just bought a wicked brand new house.
So main thing, number one thing, spend more time with the family. Keep those weekends free. Maybe just Sunday. I've been going crazy 7 days a week nonstop. We got to cool that down. And I heard you have a motorcycle. We got to get this guy a motorcycle.
Oh, this guy's got a sick Harley.
I don't know if I want to see Carlito on a motorcycle anywhere near
Oh,
me.
he had one. He had a little crotch rocket one time.
What Harley do you have?
I just got I had a Street Glide touring.
Oh, yeah?
An 07. Oh, man, I miss it.
I know.
Oh, wait a minute. I
wanted
just
it,
missed
man.
that. You just said you had.
I just got a 2020 Lowrider S, it's called.
Ooh,
So,
nice.
Rode that around for a couple of days. Now it's in storage.
Yeah, mine's in storage too.
Yeah.
I think I'll always have a bike. I think,
Yeah.
just throw the dirt over it with me, man. That's all.
That's my therapy.
I love, I don't use my phone.
Yeah, I love it.
I just smell the air.
Yeah.
When I started writing, it was full face. Now it's open face. Fucking love it, man. Dude.
See, I did the opposite.
Oh, you did the opposite?
I went from open face because
I have a full face.
I have both,
But I do like my open face a lot, right?
yeah, and you have what do you have?
I have no fairings. I have no nothing.
See, on my old bike, I had a fairing with a tall windshield.
Mine's a
It was
99.
beautiful, man.
Mine's a 99 Ducati Monster. So
Ducati.
it's still the original. It's still carbureted. I actually jumped up the
Nice.
engine from 750 to 900. It boots. It's nice. It's just all flat back. It's just a simple bike, right? It's not like it's terribly expensive over the years of having it for 20
Yeah.
years now. Fuck, it's been 20 years. I've had that bike.
They become money pits.
See,
man.
for me, it was different.
I've known that bike more than I've known some women.
Dum dum See, for me, it was different. I never had anyone like I would ride with the odd person, but no one really rode. And then all of a sudden,
You're
I
getting
got
one.
rid of a bike,
You're
and then
getting one.
everybody
Get
gets
one.
bikes.
Yeah,
Get
man,
one.
get one.
Well, you guys, I'm on the same page. You know, I got rid of my convertible 2 years ago. I was hoping to finish the whole project, never did. But I got
But you love
a
that
new
bug.
tractor.
You should see this guy on an ATV. I don't know. I just had a flashback. Don't get one. This guy's a maniac.
I heard about that
Oh my
Yeah, we do about
God.
90 miles an hour through the forest.
on an ATV.
This
Yeah.
guy's a maniac.
Are you
on an
insane?
ATV.
Yeah, we got a couple.
That's not
ATVs.
safe, man.
No.
Hey, wait a second.
I was
Who ca-
trying to keep up to him. Oh God, you
That's
know
not
what? Forget
safe,
this.
man.
Yeah,
What?
It's not safe if you wipe out.
We got to wrap it up, man. Any other questions? I know that we veered off on quite a few tangents,
Yeah.
but I think we got a nice cross section of brick and mason, and you starting a business and going on your own. Then we got into a little bit of social media IG hate, which I love. But and then we got into the industry, man. So I think we touched upon everything. It was
Yeah,
a
I
good
think we did.
Dobre.
Dobro. It means good in Croatian.
I thought it was Dobrze. Dobrze? No, Dobrze?
Dobrze is Polish.
Oh, that's right. That's what I'm
good.
thinking. I'm thinking Polish.
Dobro could be in some parts of Russia, I believe it's
think,
also
yeah.
the same too. But
Bueno.
Spanish. If in the right parts of the Latin language, I got to be careful there. 'cause
Oh,
I got Mexican
gosh.
buddies, and they're like, "Don't get that mixed up." And then I talk to my Colombian buddies, and they say, "Don't say that." And then I speak to my Spanish buddies, and they're saying, "Don't say that." I think that
You talking to us or you talking to them?
you guys.
Oh.
I think we should get Manny and Yvonne to beatbox out of here today.
I don't know how to beatbox, dude.
Beatbox.
I have
Oh,
other
God.
skills. I have no idea how to beatbox, man.
then I'll do it.
There you go. That didn't take long. Man.
No, eh? He never has
You
to
didn't have to
beatbox,
twist his
man.
arm there.
Oh, God. You must have been easy in high school, huh?
Oh, I was easy, buddy.
Get us out of here. Yvonne, thanks so much, bro.
Thanks, guys. Thanks
Really
for having
appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for spending a lot of time with us. Another great podcast, Carlito. Get us out, get us out, get us out of the
Straight at
streets.
TO 2020, baby. 416. Yeah.
boy.
Wow. Wow.